So I was stuck between three titles to choose from for this video. One was something like truly mesmerizing visual effects in Avatar 2. The other was I can't believe Avatar 2 hit $2 billion at the box office. But I decided to go with flowers because I felt like that was the best way to express gratitude for this film. Let's go. Now, since this movie hit $2 billion at the box office, I'm sure most of you have probably watched by now. So you probably realize I'm late to uploading this review, but it's still going to be spoiler free, so if you haven't watched yet, no worries. For this review, I'm going to explain the brief plot of the story and then talk more about the flowers. If you don't know what I mean by giving someone their flowers, it's pretty much just expressing love, appreciation, recognition, respect, compliments. Your boy loves compliments, words of affirmation, but overall, just celebrating one's achievements. And if you've been subscribed to the channel, you've been watching a few of my videos, then you probably know I'm a fan of creating lists because I feel like that's the more fun side of the review. So for this video, I'll be breaking down my top 8 contributors to this film, whether if it was the artists, actors, or the director. Avatar: The Way of the Water is the sequel to the original Avatar movie from back in 2009, and I did do a spoiler-free review of that movie, so if anyone wants a complete refresher of the story or just to reminisce, then check out that video. This new story was definitely told through a different lens compared to the first, although some similarities are still present. The first Avatar movie, we were following Jake Sully as he tries to adapt to the world of Pandora and the Na'vi culture, all while falling in love and fighting for what he believes in. That original movie was heavy focus on the two characters of Jake Sully and Neytiri as you watch them grow as individuals and as a couple. Now in this new story, In the Way of Water, it kind of has those two characters taking a back seat since fast forward 14 years later and now they have 4 children. Although majority of this film is about parenthood and trying to raise children, when it comes to following the characters, we mainly follow the children this time around. Each child is different from the next, whether it be due to the personality or mainly the age difference. The only child, or I should say teenager, that the story follows is the second son named Loak. He means well, but is somewhat of a troublemaker by making poor decisions that puts him and his family in awkward situations. Before we really get to know more about the children, Jake Sully and Neytiri are forced to leave their homeland in the forest and escape to another part of the world where the environment is very island-based, surrounded by the oceans of Pandora. Reasons for leaving is because they're being threatened by a familiar villain who will stop at no cost to kill Jake Sully. The humans feel if they could take out Jake Sully as the Na'vi leader, then they'll be able to conquer the world of Pandora much easier. What's exciting about this manhunt with tracking down Jake Sully is that it's very personal and things get very intense towards the end of the climax of the film where it puts himself and his family in serious danger. Now the similarities that are the same compared to both films is that the story is pretty much the same in regards to the main character who's kind of that new guy in town, right? He's that fish out of water.
Boy, if you don't stop!
Drake, I just had to do it. I just had to. You remember, the first film had Jake trying to learn the standard ways of Pandora in general. And in this film, him and his family have to learn all over again of how to adapt to the environment. But this time being around water since they're with a new tribe. I mean, they literally have no choices. Do or die, sink or swim. Okay, so now for the fun part. I'm about to show you my top 8 favorite artists that contributed to this film. At 8, I have the actor Stephen Lang because we just have to appreciate his consistency with this character's enthusiasm and charisma. I don't know much about this actor's work in other films, so if any of you know, then please recommend because I do appreciate his work and glad he's back in the world of Avatar. At 7, I have Kate Winslet because apparently she broke a record for holding her breath underwater for 7 minutes, so props to her. I also thought she was a great addition to the story and played a strong female character very well. At 6, I have Eddie Flacco because I was shocked and so happy to see her in a major blockbuster movie. Her role was small, but she still did a great job. This is obviously a personal choice for me since I loved her in The Sopranos. At 5, I have Sigourney Weaver because although it was somewhat strange to see her play her character, I thought it was still a decent job done. She plays something of a younger version of herself as a teenager, so if anything, I'm just intrigued to see where they take the character and how it all ties together. At 4, I have Sam Worthington because this was my guy back in the day. I loved him in the original Avatar and Clash of the Titans, but I guess he wasn't in any major blockbusters after that. I'm just glad he's kept up his craft and did a wonderful job at bringing Jake Sully back to the big screen. Now at 3, I have the GOAT, Zoe Saldana, because either she's super lucky and hits the jackpot over and over, or just highly talented. Let's say both because not sure if y'all knew this, but she is the first actor to appear in 4 movies that grossed over $2 billion at the box office, which includes both Avatar movies and both Marvel Avenger movies with Infinity War and Endgame. Now at 2, I have to give credit to the director James Cameron because he proved most of us wrong, including myself. I didn't doubt him entirely, but wasn't fully confident that he would reach his break-even point at $2 billion since that's so tough after the first movie installment was released over a decade prior. But he had a vision and he stuck to it, and now is going to continue that for the next 3 Avatar movies, so major congrats. Now at 1 is somewhat surprising, but not really, and this is obviously also the help of James Cameron, but I have to give my best flowers to the visual effects team. You know, the guys behind the scenes, the film crew, the guys who innovated new technology to make those underwater scenes scenes so realistic. That was absolutely my favorite part about this movie. I didn't care much about the first half hour or hour of the movie when they were in the forest, because we're familiar with that. We've seen that before. But once they went to the island tribe and took that first dive in the water, I just loved every second and aspect of those scenes. I'm talking from the marine life to the beautiful sea creatures and to the beautiful musical score that tied it all together. I saw this movie twice in IMAX 3D, and it's just one of those films where it feels special to be part of as a current audience at the time of release. An example would be when the first Star Wars movie was released in theaters, or the movie Titanic. I never had the chance because of my age, but I can imagine the excitement. Now, before I wrap up my review, I have to keep it honest with you guys. I gotta give you some of my unfavorable parts of this movie. Although I enjoyed Stephen Lang's performance as the villain, his character once again is only one-dimensional. There's also a new character who goes by the name of Spider, and if you know, you know. He's this human kid who loves the Na'vi culture. But his character was just all over the place and somewhat annoying in my opinion, because I think he just had too much screen time. Now, Sigourney Weaver was also a good addition to the cast. I was excited that they brought her back, but sometimes you could hear her voice acting was a little distracting because she is playing a younger character. And it was nice learning about Jake and Neytiri's children. However, I wish they weren't so sidelined, because for Neytiri, for example, she's such a great character, so I hope that she does get more screen time in the future. And because of this, overall in this sequel, in the second movie, there's really not that much character arc compared to the first movie. And the story was also okay once again, nothing really groundbreaking, just if you can provide and protect your family. And last but not least is the runtime. I personally think they could have probably shaved off 20 to 30 minutes, especially during the last hour of the movie, since that whole hour was pretty much action. Avatar: The Way of Water is an absolute visual spectacle for the theaters. There may have been some disconnect at the beginning of the film due to familiarity, but once they incorporated the immersive and mesmerizing underwater scenes, the audience was fully engaged. The innovative technology from the mind of James Cameron and his brilliant team is truly revolutionary as the next step in cinema. However, the storytelling does have the same beats as the first movie, and the characters could also use more work to make them more interesting and mysterious. I think as we watch more of this story of Avatar and the World of Pandora unfold, we'll start to see more progression, but for now, this movie is very good, and I highly recommend watching in theaters if you love visual effects.
And that's facts.
Let me know down in the comments if you guys love this movie. I'm talking hype on hype. It could do no wrong. Or if you're like me and you thought it could use some room for improvement. If you enjoyed this video, then click that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe so you could join the party for more fun reviews uploaded weekly. And as always, thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.